You're watching Tornado Facts with Beanrock124, Season 2, Episode 16, or Episode 36. My name is Nathan, and I talk about tornadoes all the time. Today is the first video of 4 taking place in the great state of Oklahoma. Well, I'm not recording in it, but the tornado outbreaks themselves took place in Oklahoma. Today, on this mini-ish series, like my road trip videos, today we are talking about the tornado outbreak of June 13th, 1998. It was a tornado outbreak that occurred across much of the United States. The day saw 45 tornadoes touch down, primarily across Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. The outbreak saw the Storm Prediction Center outline 2 moderate risk areas in parts of Virginia and North Carolina and South Carolina, and in parts of Kansas and Nebraska. Additionally, 2 more far expansive slight risk areas were delineated across much of the central and eastern United States. By 6 o'clock UTC, June 14th, tornadoes had struck parts of 6 states, including downtown Sabetha, Kansas, and parts of North Oklahoma City and its metro. So here's your meteorological synopsis. In advance of the coming outbreak, during the morning of June 13th, the Storm Prediction Center issued a moderate risk for parts of Kansas and Nebraska. It also issued a slight risk area, roughly encompassing an area from south of Dallas and western Mississippi northward and westward to western Oklahoma, Kansas City, and western Nebraska and northern North Dakota. To the east, the SPC issued a moderate risk from far southeastern Virginia to central North Carolina to central South Carolina to the Atlantic Ocean. A slight risk was issued. A slight risk was issued from southern New Jersey to near Washington, D.C., to northern Pennsylvania, to western Ohio, then southward to eastern Tennessee, to southern Georgia, to the Florida coast. Jesus Christ, that was a lot to say. In the eastern United States, the SPC warned of the threat of bow echoes producing damaging winds. An unstable air mass was present across a significant amount of the southeast, and warm air at the 850 millibar level indicated elevated mixed layer air. From southeastern Virginia to the mid-south, surface dew points were in the 70s Fahrenheit, just like last episode where I was shocked about it, but now I'm not shocked about it. Parallel winds from low to mid levels combined with the BRN, I believe that is, that's the bulk Richardson number. Shears predicted to around 30 indicated that bow echoes would be the primary threat. The most intense activity was expected to be confined to an area south and just north of a jet spanning from South Carolina to far southeastern Virginia, ahead of a mesoscale vorticity center entering western Georgia. The possibility of a second area of intense activity was noted for the southeastern part of the state, coupled with far northern parts of Florida. In the plains, a more tornado-oriented threat was expected to develop. Moderately strong upper shortwave trough was expected to move northeastward toward the central plains later in the day. A highly unstable air mass over south of a front over Texas and Oklahoma was forecast to spread northward into Kansas and Nebraska, along with the northward moving warm front. The wind shear profile along severe storms along the dry line cold front into western Oklahoma by the late afternoon. Additional isolated activity was possible along the western edge of the moisture axis extending from western Nebraska into the Dakotas and along the warm front in Arkansas once it began moving northward. Okay, that took way too long to read. This is what happened in Kansas. When a severe thunderstorm that formed in Phillips County moved eastward into Smith County, it produced Kansas's first tornado of the day. The short-lived tornado's maximum damage was assessed as F0. Shortly after the end of the tornado's 2-minute life, it's apparent that the storm left Kansas and entered Nebraska. Later in the day, an F2 tornado that was the costliest tornado of the day struck the town of Sabetha in Nemha County. The tornado, which touched down half-mile west of the Sabetha City Hall, caused serious damage to 2 blocks of the town, with 18 buildings in the downtown area being damaged, 5, including the City Hall building, to near the point of loss, so like totaled. The tornado lifted about half a mile east of City Hall. Damage to the building amounted to $2 million, and additional damage to homes and vehicles away from downtown occurred due to the tornado tornado toppled trees and branches away from the tornado center, along with strong straight line winds. Reading is fun. Okay, Nebraska. The first tornado touchdown in the state formed about 30 miles west of Sydney. Wow, you couldn't say a closer city? Okay. The tornado dissipated only 2 minutes later, causing no damage. Another tornado would not touch down in the state until later in the afternoon, when severe thunderstorms initiated across south central Nebraska, in great part due to the presence of a strong jet stream and a northbound warm front. The first tornado spawned by these particular storms touched down in Gosper County, southwest of Elwood. Although the tornado initially headed eastward, it turned left, heading due north. The tornado severely damaged a farmhouse and destroyed nearby outbuildings before later taking a path straight down U.S. Highway 283. A semi-truck driver and a family of 3, finding no path of escape, abandoned their vehicles to take cover in a ditch. It's not the most ideal thing to do, but it's better than nothing. While they survived with minor injuries despite the tornado passing almost directly overhead, the vehicles were not so fortunate, and the truck's cargo, composed of ice cream. Sorry, I was not expecting that. The ice cream truck was ruined. Wow, all those kids that were expecting to get ice cream had their dreams ruined. The storm went on to produce another tornado which caused no damage and was short-lived. Now, in Lincoln County, a tornado touched down about 5 miles south-southwest of Maxwell before coming into contact with the Marantha Bible Camp. Damage at the camp included about 160 blown-down trees, damaged vehicles, and a destroyed shed. The tornado then went on to topple 2 billboards after crossing I-80. 2 houses were damaged and a camper destroyed along the remainder of the tornado's 8-minute-long track. A camper, that counts as an RV. So, for the first time in 2023... we have had a mobile home part of this. Let's see how many times that's going to happen this year. This damage was F1. A severe thunderstorm that had developed just south of the Kansas-Nebraska border went on to drop a short-lived F0 tornado about 1 mile east of Chester. The tornado initially moved to the southeast, hitting a farm and adjacent outbuildings along its path. While the people at the farm were all uninjured, a minimum of 25 irrigation pivots were destroyed. Multiple other tornadoes occurred during the outbreak that went on to cause little or no damage, and by the end of the day, no tornado-related injuries or fatalities have been reported in Nebraska. Oh, Lord. Alright, the big event, Oklahoma. Hence why I'm making this video. In the afternoon and evening of June 13th, 4 supercells, which had formed near the dry line over western Oklahoma, entered the central part of the state near Oklahoma City, 2 of which produced tornadoes and 2 of which only produced strong winds and hail. The first of the 2 tornado-producing storms produced 2 tornadoes. The former, which touched down near Longdale, injured a child and caused tree damage, ultimately causing F0 damage. The latter tornado, which was ultimately rated F1, caused roof, window, and siding and porch damage to 3 houses. It also took the roof off a barn, destroyed an outbuilding, caused fence damage, and took the hood off of a pickup truck. Sounds similar to what happened in El Reno and Reed Timmer. The second tornadic supercell produced 7 tornadoes, this one being in the Oklahoma City metro. The first 2 tornadoes touched down near El Reno and caused no damage, earning ratings of F0. The third tornado touched down near Yukon, but as with the other 2, caused no damage and was rated F0. A 4th tornado touched down over Lake Hefner in Oklahoma City, eventually causing damage to boats and a dry dock at the Oklahoma City Boat Club. Damage to club facilities and nearby boats was estimated at $250,000. Now, right now on your screen, I have a video of this tornado from News 9 touching down with Gary England talking or whatever. You'll see it.
We're getting some sort of spray coming up off the lake right now. Cannot tell if it's a tornado yet. But again, it is raising lots of spray. Gary, there's a tornado on Lake Hefner right now.
Say again?
The tornado on Lake Hefner.
Tornado on Lake Hefner.
Tornado on Lake Hefner.
Tornado on Lake Hefner, coming across Lake Hefner.
Shoot video.
The tornado went on to destroy a shed and cause minor roof damage to homes east of Lake Hefner Parkway before it dissipated, having only caused F1 damage. The 5th tornado, which was F1, materialized near Northwest 84th and Walker, going on to displace much of a house's roof, roof decking, and uproot street signs. The tornado also damaged vehicles and caused roof damage on 84th through 88th Streets, The tornado damaged the western half of a church in this area after it knocked down its walls on 3 sides and threw part of its roof at a house, which ultimately suffered major damage. The 6th tornado, which was anticyclonic, affected northwest Oklahoma City, Nichols Hills area. Caused considerable damage to a strip mall, unroofed numerous houses, shattered windows, damaged signs and power lines. One building saw an exterior wall collapse. Oh, Lord, here we go again. An RV was thrown into a house. A car flipped. Trees were knocked down and pieces of shingles and roof decking were blown away. The tornado's ultimate rating was F2 based on damage limited to a small area, and most damage was actually consistent of F1 with that tornado. Now, the next tornado in Oklahoma City happened near Frontier City. This is the 7th tornado, which was also rated F2. This was the most destructive one. This one touched down near Hefner and near the intersection of Hefner and Bryant, eastern Oklahoma City. It touched down there before going on to cause major structural damage to numerous businesses at Frontier City, which is like an amusement park, I think. The tornado damaged vehicles in the parking lot and caused the exterior of a concrete building to partly collapse while simultaneously taking its roof off. Inflow into the tornado caused additional damage to nearby areas, and 17 injuries occurred at the park. East of I-35, Texaco suffered significant damage. I believe that's a gas station. The tornado lifted and rolled an empty semi-truck trailers in the parking lot. A nearby portable building was completely blown away. In the Nottingham and Quail Ridge Run subdivisions, extensive damage was caused to homes roofs, windows, roofs, and garage doors. Some of these homes suffered a significant degree of roof failure, despite having still standing exterior walls. Anchoring between the roofs of these homes and their walls was missing, and it's possible that the intensity of the tornado was near F3 in these areas. The tornado caused $1 million worth of damage in North Oklahoma City throughout this track. Overall, the outbreak caused a single injury in Longdale, Blaine. Overall, the outbreak caused a single injury in Longdale, Blaine County, in addition to 21 relatively minor injuries in Oklahoma City, largely at Frontier City. No fatalities occurred due to any of the tornadoes. After the event ended, OG&E, Oklahoma Gas and Electric, said that 25,000 people to 30,000 people lost power. Part of the North Oklahoma City area was closed to non-residents, and the Red Cross set up an emergency shelter at a church in the vicinity to help those in need. So here were the tornadoes that touched down. None unrated, 32 F0, 10 F1, and only 3 F2s for a total of 45. This is I believe as of right now, this is the weakest outbreak I've ever covered, because there have been no F3, 4, or 5 tornadoes. So I guess we're making some progress. So here are your tornadoes. Yeah, only 3 F3, and that's it there. So that is it for Season 2, Episode 16 of Tornado Facts with Beanrock124. This one being about the tornado outbreak of June 13th, 1998. Thank you for watching, and Episode 2 of 4, or Part 2 of 4 of Tornadoes in Oklahoma in a row will be out next week. So with that, goodbye.